So up next is... Nope, not that one. Not that one. Nope, 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 nope. There it is. Up next is Pac-Motos. In 1985, Namco released a game known as Motos in the arcades. The best way to describe Motos would be a game of bumper cars. You control this pilot aircraft in this, I'd say, grid-like stage as you knock down all the enemies that appear on the stage. Along the way, you have different pickups, such as making yourself stronger and being able to jump across several different stages that get harder as you progress along. Motos never did come out here in the arcades in the US, at least not that I know of. I've never seen anything online that suggests otherwise. So it's not as well known as other Namco games over here in the West. That said though, Motos would get the Namco arrangement treatment alongside Pac-Man arrangement when it came out for the PlayStation Portable, the Namco Museum Battle Collection. Rather, I should say, not here in the US, because it was never actually released in the Battle Collection over here. Rather, it stayed exclusive to Japan, where the Battle Collection was released in 2 volumes, Volume 1 and Volume 2. And so we never did get Motos arrangement over here, or at least so we thought, because it turns out Motos arrangement was actually reskinned into the game we're looking at here today. So we already mentioned in the previous part with Pac-Man Roll Remix about the Namco Museum Remix collection for the Nintendo Wii. Part of that collection was Motos. Well, rather, Pac-Motos. Motos arrangement was reskinned as a Pac-Man game featuring Pac-Man in a spear form and featuring some abilities in the form of the candies we see in Pac-Man Roll Remix. It's the entire game featured as it was on the PlayStation Portable, but reskinned to look like it came from Pac-Man, which includes Pac-Man themed worlds, Pac-Man themed enemies, including the ghost of course, all in the Namco Museum Remix. And so, because of Pac-Man Roll Remix here, I think they included Pac-Motos just because it was all part of the same package. I'm not complaining, it's just one extra game. But that said, it's worth noting that this really isn't a Pac-Man game, just as we've seen with some of the games before. This is really Motos. Does that make it any better or any worse? Well, let's find out. Where there's Pac-Man Roller Remix, there's also Pac-Motos. Let's take a look. So it should work just like before, where it's going to spawn us right into it. Yep. And we have this arrangement form of the Motos main theme. I love it. It's fun to hear. I'm certain that there's probably a good number of people that have never heard Motos or ever played the arcade original. For me, my first exposure to Motos was through the Namco Museum Virtual Arcade. And I mentioned this earlier because that's how I played Pac-Man Arrangement, the console version. But it also had a bunch of other games on there, because of course, Namco Museum. Motos was one of them. So, honestly, I'd say it's like a homecoming. Alright, stage 1, let's begin. So, just as I mentioned earlier, Motos is like a game of bumper cars. And you have different abilities to further get into it, but since this is stage 1, we don't have any to start off with. They've been reskinned to the chocolates we see in Pac-Man Roll Remix. And whereas Motos only had 2, the power and jump, we have a third option here in this one, and that is the charge. We're able to charge our bump into the enemies. But we got nothing, so let's just start the stage. But yeah, it plays just like Motos. You control Pac-Man in the form of the pilot aircraft. Is it weird? I feel like it's a little weird they were playing as a spear Pac-Man. He doesn't even roll, he just bumps into the stuff. I feel like if he rolled around like he did with the rest of the collection, because part of the Namco Museum Remix was playing with this idea that all the games revolved around the Pac-Man Roll style. The very hub has Pac-Man rolling around to get to each game. Alright, grab the chocos! Grab the chocos! Alright, perfect. It is very important that you grab the chocos on a stage if you want to use them later. If you don't, then you're not going to have any to move forward with. They do stack though, so say I go back to stage 1, I can use all the chocos I have on hand. But let's just keep going. Stage 3, and to show it off, we're going to use one of the chocos. Power makes this bump harder, which is important for some of the later stages because the enemies become much stronger as a result. And we're going to make sure we have the jump ability here. Perfect. Easy as that. But no, I feel like it's weird that I expect Pac-Man in my head to roll like a spear. He's already in a spear, so it only makes sense that he would roll with it. We're gonna save the Choco for later. We don't need the jump just yet, so save those. It's nice and easy. I mean, it's all in the design, I suppose. But other games still feature him rolling. The one exception, I would say, is probably Rally X, because he's in the vehicle. He's in the vehicle driving along. Would have made more sense. Oh, yep, there's like the stars or the meteors. If you're not careful, they can knock you right off the stage because they open holes down below. Let's get bonus stage. Yeah, bonus points. I'll take the bonus points. Stage 5. But no, in Rally X, he would just ride along on the vehicle. It was tame, yeah, but I mean, I would like to have seen a little more. Like, what if he was the wheel? Multiple wheels, or something like that. I know in the Galaga game, he's physically rolling on a rail. It's quite literally a on-the-rail shooter. Pac-Man's on the rail as you're shooting the Galaxians. And I only now just made this connection in my mind. But no, it is jarring that you see Pac-Man just not rolling. I just can't help but point that out. Alright, we keep going. So you can see in Motos, we have different enemies, different varieties. It plays very closely to the arcade original, but the theme all around us is Pac-and-Roll inspired. It's not all Pac-and-Roll though. You're going to see some worlds that are further inspired by some of the stuff featured here in Namco Museum Remix. If we get to it, of course. But yeah, down low we got Castle Pac. It's just the overworld. All the music though is different because it did have different music in Moto's arrangement. But here we go, we got a boss. We have to attack the core and we can't jump over. So we're gonna get 2 jump powers because if we die we lose our abilities. And right now, the reason I wasn't talking is because in the music in the background. Oh, we do keep our power. Never mind. The music in the background is actually the original music they used in the arcade version of Motos. Do 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 do. It's been a long time since I last played Motos. I probably had to play it to collect some footage for this episode, but man, I gotta revisit it sometime. No, Motos really is just a fun game because it's something different. There really isn't a whole lot like it, and it really is one of those like Namco originals. And I would love to see like a remaster or like a new version of it come out later on. If we got Pac-Motos, I think if it does well, I could see them making a new version of Motos. When we'll talk about Pac-Man Championship though, we will talk about how it was a time where they did reboot, or at least try to, many different Namco properties. And a game called Metro Cross would have been the last one, but the series, or rather the reboot franchise, just didn't do well enough that they decided not to pursue it, which is a bit of a shame. I would have loved to have seen Metro Cross get remade. Alright, but you take out Blinky, he goes out with a bang. I'll take it. And so, that was the first world of Pac-Motos. World 2, which is, of course, the jungle area from Pac-and-Roll. So let's just go straight into that. We're going to play through the second world, and then we'll go to the next game. Now, of course, the further you get in, the harder it gets. But right now, it looks like we can handle it just fine. Just got to be nice and careful. I am surprised, though, and I think I may have mentioned this already, that they really did go through all this effort to reskin Motos arrangements. And I guess part of that was having it in the Namco Museum Remix, but I'm just really surprised that this is the route they went. Like, you could have done a lot with Motos arrangement, you could have made it its own game, you could have had it in the Namco Museum battle. You get the point I'm making here. I'm just surprised that it became a Pac-Man game of all things. I guess in some ways, though, it's not really foreign because we'd see other games that were reskinned. Pac Attack, Pac in Time, and then right here, Pac-Motos. Part of that trend is the Pac-Man series did rescale other games and use this Pac-Man style. Part of it, though, is that with its charm, you'd never know it was anything before it. Here, I only know though because I played Motos, the arcade version. So I know that this is a different game entirely, but I imagine there are some that, if they see this, they probably would think it is an original Pac-Man game and nothing more. To that, I say, please go out of your way and try Motos, the arcade Motos. I do think it is well worth your time, definitely one of Namco's greats. And I hope that we'll see some more arcade games released by Namco, because it's been quite a bit since we've seen some lesser known titles get featured in compilations. The last compilation I remember from Namco was for the Nintendo Switch. And some of the games featured there, of course, include Galaga 88, Sky Kid, Rolling Thunder. The big one of that collection was Splatterhouse and Pac-Man Vs. I am so glad they were able to put Pac-Man Vs in the game. I can see why it's not here in this collection, because you need more than one system to play it. So it makes sense it was on the Nintendo Switch. But I'm even surprised they brought that back of all things too. I felt like that's something that they would have abandoned. They should have done it on the Wii U, but I don't get why they never brought it back to the Wii U. That would have been the perfect console for it, but they just didn't. They didn't! Alright, I want to get those candies, but we need to take out these enemies. The enemies in Motos are a bit of a mixed bag. I don't know what they are supposed to be. Are they just spears and nothing more? Are they meant to be aliens? Are they meant to be some sort of other invader? I don't know. Oh, the candies! The candies! Oh. Well, we can still get them. We can still get them. I'm gonna keep that chocolate bar though. Alright. Candy! Alright, let's get them out of here. Points. Come on, work with me. Ah. I feel like this is when we're gonna need the meteors to fall from above. Come on. Bump. Yeah, here comes the meteors. Okay, one more to go. Up above, up above. Come on. Oh, got him, got him. Do-do-do-do-do. Doodle-doo. I get the first part of the jingle, it's based on the game, but the da-da-da-da feels a little extreme. It's just my thoughts. Alright, second boss time. We got Inky. And this one, he actually rises up. Fierce. Alright, for this one, we're going to need the jump. And we're going to use a bit of charge too, because if we charge at him, we'll be able to take him out just a little faster. So we hold the B button and wait for him to fall. Oh, actually, no, we gotta make him fall. There we go. Get him! Charge up. Come on, show yourself. Make him fall! Oh! One more. Come on, get the leg. Ah, he did not like that. Come on! Don't fall off. There we go. We're doing it! We're doing it! But no, Motos itself is a simple game, and it works very well here, even just in a Pac-Man form. I'm glad it made it to this collection. Nice and easy. I wonder if they'll ever bring the other games from the Namco Museum remix over. Galaga, Rally X, and then Gator Panic. There was another one, because here in the West, we actually did get a enhanced version of more games. I think it was called Mega Mix, but I only had Remix in my collection. Unfortunately, though, I did eventually decide to sell it at some point later on. I regret that now, but I don't have it in my collection. That is a lot of tokens. What? We're getting a lot of tokens from these games. You want tokens? Play Pac-and-Roll and play Pac-Motos. Holy. Alright, one more, though. We would have got an extra bonus, but alright, alright. A happy partition. Stage select background music. In other words, just Motos. Neon beam. Cool. Alright, I think it's been a while, so let's take a look real fast and see what ways we can customize our arcade. I'm thinking, let's get rid of this balloon. I feel like it's too... What we want are some cool balloons. Yeah. Right there, that's rocking. Alright, let's see. Let's see about the wallpapers. We're using Neon A. I like the comic style. I like that though because it's got the original Pac-Man design. It's even got Pac-1. 256 though is cool. And that's a big no to the Atari 2600. I like this one. I like the sketch design. And then to match that, we changed the flooring. How's yellow look? No, not yellow. Let's see. Green? No. How about black? It works. It's a bit tame comparison, but it works. Black and white. It's kind of like a comic book style. Some figures, but we're not gonna place those just yet. We're not gonna overhaul the arcade too much just yet. We're gonna keep it simple for now, especially for episodic sake. I want to really deck it out though when we're done, when we're on the final episode of this LP. We're getting close though. We're getting very close. And I'm gonna load it with Pac-Man arrangement cabinets, just because I'm glad to see that's finally back. But alright, let's finish. It's like a new gloss of paint. And it looks good. So alright, it's time to play the next game. And this is one that we're finally catching up on because we had to play it originally to play Pac-Man arrangement console version. So consider this a bit of a cut to jump ahead to where it was before. Now, I might decide to re-record that one because I wasn't happy with it initially, but look forward to it. So, here's to the next episode, folks. I'll see you then.